Good evening. You are welcome to News at 6 from the studios of Big Family Radio here in Accra. You can watch the live coverage on Facebook at Big Family Radio. You can as well listen to us on our radio app at Big Family Radio. You can download it on the App Store and Play Store. The top stories. The Environmental Protection Agency has announced plans to launch comprehensive waste management and recycling plan this month. Ablekuma North MP, Honorable Ekwia Efriye, has declared there will be no rerun. In the international news, approximately 2 million Muslims are set to embark on second Hajj pilgrimage this week. Lee Jae-myung is set to win South Korea's presidential election as conservative rival concedes. In the entertainment news, Ghanaian rapper Amrado has revealed that he doesn't enjoy being an artist. Let's go for a quick commercial break, and when we are back, I would give you the details of these stories and more.
Admission. Are you looking for a computer institution with a serene atmosphere in equipping you with the ability to deepen your understanding and in-depth knowledge in computerization? Then the answer is Big Family Multimedia Institute. Our dedicated and experienced teachers are ready to provide personal attention, support, and help you bring your fusion to bear. We are located at Amasama Dobrogono, Upper Class Junction, and Santa Maria Family and Friend. For more information, contact
0555 20 80 56
0540 932 188. Website bfmnetworks.com. Email info@bfmnetwork.com. Other affiliates include Center for Trade, Big Family TV, Big Family News, Big Family Radio, Big Family Event, Big Family Multimedia Institute, KabaraInfo.com, Trustees, Okman Motors, Soko Mall, ABK TV Ghana. Enroll now and experience the difference.
You are all that matters.
You are welcome back. My name is Esther Akwesi. Now the details of the stories and more. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, of Ghana has officially announced its intention to launch an extensive waste management and recycling initiative before the end of this month. According to the agency, the plan is designed to address the growing challenges associated with waste disposal, environmental pollution, and resource sustainability across the country. This comprehensive program will include the introduction of improved waste collection systems, the establishment of recycling facilities in key urban areas, and the implementation of public awareness campaigns to promote responsible waste disposal and the benefits of recycling. Additionally, the EPA plans to work closely with local governments, private sector partners, and community organizations to ensure the effective rollout and long-term success of the initiative. The agency emphasized that this move is part of a broader national strategy to enhance environmental health, combat climate change, and support the development of a circular economy in Ghana.
The World Economic Forum predicts that 16 million tons of plastic waste will enter the Earth's ocean by 2030 if no action is taken. Ghana's water bodies and drains are not spared, as plastic waste is usually not disposed of well, leading to flooding. This informed a decision by the Environmental Protection Authority to ban the product. Professor Nana Amakluche is the Chief Executive Officer of the EPA.
After 5th of June, there will be a lot of activities on plastics. We want to reduce plastic waste in the country because they harm the environment. They are not easily degradable. They are not biodegradable. So when it gets to the soil, it stays there for thousands of years. They don't degrade and they affect the soil. So we want to avoid plastic waste as much as possible in the country. We're trying to ban plastics in Ghana. We want to do it slowly. We first must collect what is in the system, and then we want to provide alternatives to these plastics. Then we can reduce the waste as much as possible.
The EPA is implementing a decentralization exercise. The authority commissioned its first district office in the Ketu North municipality of the Volta region.
It's the first district or municipal office. EPA has regional offices and area offices. But as we are getting to localize or decentralize our activities, we need district office. We know sun winning is an issue here, it's a challenge here. We are appealing to the chiefs and elders and communities to also guide against environmental degradation through sun winning in this constituency.
The Member of Parliament for Ketu North, Edem Agbana, believes the provision of the EPA office would enhance regulation in his jurisdiction.
Many of the people obtaining even building permits do not have the EPA permit because there was a challenge with the proximity to the offices where they could acquire or they could get assistance to acquire those permits. But with this office being the very first district office for the EPA, it's an honor that we are putting in motion. We are putting in motion a vision that we believe will yield enormous benefits to the good people of Ketu North.
Now on the issues of the Ableguma seat. Addressing the ongoing concerns surrounding the Ableguma North parliamentary seat, Member of Parliament Ekwia Efriye has firmly stated that there will be no rerun of the election. She asserted that she secured a clear and decisive victory, emphasizing that she won hands down. According to Honorable Efriye, she possesses all the required documentation to support her claim, including the official pink sheets and other certified electoral materials. These documents, she explained, provide irrefutable evidence of her win and validate the integrity of the electoral process in her constituency. She further dismissed any speculation or suggestions of irregularities, insisting that the outcome was transparent and reflected the true will of the people of Ableguma North. Honorable Efriye called on all parties to respect the results and focus on working together for the development of the constituency.
If you won, would you say they should rerun? If you were the one who won, would you say they should rerun? You know the King Solomon issue. We won the election hands down, and so there isn't going to be any rerun. We have the pink sheet. We have every evidence. We've collated with their agents throughout 6 times. And this is where we are. So if you were the one who won, will you suggest there should be a rerun? That's my question. If you won.
To end the local story, local governance expert Andy Bediako has emphasized the need for the government to address key challenges affecting local assemblies in order to enhance the internally generated funds, IGF. According to him, one of the major obstacles hindering the effective functioning of local governance structures is the persistent issue of chieftaincy disputes. He explained that these disputes often lead to instability and hinder development initiatives at the local level. Bediako noted that when local assemblies are embroiled in such conflicts, it becomes difficult to mobilize resources, attract investments, or implement revenue-generating projects. Therefore, he urged the government to prioritize the resolution of chieftaincy disputes and strengthen the administrative and traditional framework within local assemblies. By doing so, he believes local governments will be better positioned to improve their revenue collection systems and significantly boost their IGF.
You see, some assemblies cannot even generate about 300,000 Ghana cedis a year. It's very disheartening. If you go to some places, the assemblies can, the money that they can generate from their IGF is around 200,000, 300,000 within a year. And some assemblies can also generate about 50 million, 30 million, 40 million. So my challenge here is that now the minister is saying he's going to give flat amount to all the assemblies, 25 million. Meaning some assemblies are still going to suffer and some are also going to benefit. So I was thinking that the guidelines, I've been saying this for quite a long time. Some assemblies are supposed to be given a lot of money as compared to those who are able to generate their revenue from within. But the argument has also been that those who are able to generate more also spend more. Because you are talking about population size, you are talking about the level of development, you are talking about economic development of the area, then you are talking about security of that area and all those kind of things. For example, if we all know that challenges are happening in Boko area. And if you leave all these things in the hands of the assemblies, even the 25 million that you are giving to Boko Municipal Assembly cannot be enough for other development agents, development purposes. And currently, most of the challenges that assemblies face in this country is the chieftaincy issues. Every assembly in Ghana faces these chieftaincy issues one way or the other. And those monies are going to be spent on those issues. And therefore, I think our government should also look at how best we can address some of these challenges among the assembly that are only.
You are listening to Big Family Radio. Big Family Radio. Obiase Eye.
Before we move to the international news, you can join us on Facebook at Big Family Radio and also watch us live at Big Family Radio on Facebook, YouTube and TikTok, Big Family Radio and Big Family TV. You can also listen to us on our radio app and also download it on the Google Play Store or Android and App Store on the iOS. Now moving on to the international news. House Speaker Mike Johnson has issued a strong rebuttal to recent criticisms from tech billionaire Elon Musk regarding the Republican Party's latest spending bill. In a statement addressing Musk's remarks, Johnson said the Tesla and SpaceX CEO was terribly wrong in his assessment of the legislation and described Musk's post on X, formerly known as Twitter, as both very disappointing and very surprising. Musk had taken to the social media platform to denounce the bill in harsh terms, labeling it as a disgusting abomination and arguing that it failed to uphold and advance the policies and priorities championed by President Donald Trump. His post quickly garnered attention, sparking debate within both political and tech circles. In response, Speaker Johnson defended the bill as a significant and carefully negotiated piece of legislation that aligns with conservative goals and supports Trump's broader political agenda. With all due respect, my friend, Elon is terribly wrong about this one. Big beautiful, Johnson stated, emphasizing his belief that the measure represents a crucial step forward for the Republican Party's vision for the country. Johnson's comments reflect growing tension between some Republican lawmakers and prominent conservative-leaning voices in the tech world, highlighting the complex dynamics shaping GOP policy-making in the post-Trump era.
What do you say to Elon Musk, who just called your bill a disgusting abomination?
Let me say this. It's very disappointing. Okay, I've come to consider Elon a good friend. He's obviously a very intelligent person, and he's done a lot of great work. We've applauded all the work they've done with Doge and identifying fraud, waste, and abuse in the government. It's a very important service that's been performed, and we're so excited about it. We're now in the process of codifying that. As you all know, the administration has qualified and quantified the fraud, waste, and abuse that they found in Doge. They're sending it to us to codify, and that's what we'll be doing with the rescissions package and the appropriations process. And so that's something we're very excited about. But with all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill. We had a long conversation yesterday. He and I spoke for, I think, more than 20 minutes on the telephone, and I extolled all the virtues of the bill. And he seemed to understand that. We had a very friendly conversation about it. It's a very important first start. Elon is missing it, okay? And it's not personal. I know that the EV mandate, very important to him, that is going away because the government should not be subsidizing these things. It's part of the Green New Deal, and I know that has an effect on his business, and I lament that. We talked about the ramp down period on that and how that should be duly considered by Congress, but for him to come.
Now on the issues of the upcoming Hajj. Approximately 2 million Muslims from around the world are preparing to fulfill one of the most significant religious obligations in Islam this week by participating in the annual Hajj pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. For many, this is a once-in-a-lifetime spiritual journey, as Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and is required of all Muslims who are physically and financially able to undertake it at least once in their lifetime. Al Jazeera's Alma Milisik has offered an in-depth look at the key stages of this sacred pilgrimage. The journey begins with the donning of special white garments known as ihram, symbolizing purity and equality before God. Pilgrims then perform a series of deeply symbolic rites over several days, including the tawaf, where they circle the Kaaba, the most sacred site in Islam, 7 times, and the Sa'i, which involves walking between the hills of Safa and Marwa. Other key rituals include the standing at Arafat, a day of prayer and reflection considered the spiritual climax of Hajj, and the symbolic stoning of the devil in Mina. The pilgrimage concludes with the Eid al-Adha festival and the final circumambulation of the Kaaba, known as the Tawaf al-Ifada. This deeply moving and physically demanding journey serves as a powerful demonstration of faith, unity, and submission to God, as millions of believers from all backgrounds come together in devotion and humility.
Right now, close to 2 million of Muslims are performing one of the 5 pillars of Islam, Hajj. It's a sacred, once-in-a-lifetime pilgrimage. But have you ever wondered what this pilgrimage actually looks like in terms of the terrain? Well, let's take a look. It all starts in Mecca, an extremely mountainous city in Saudi Arabia where many pilgrims start their Hajj journey by visiting the Kaaba. This black-draped ancient stone structure, believed to have been built by Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail, sits in a mountain valley about 277 meters above sea level. Pilgrims circle the Kaaba 7 times, counterclockwise, and perform a few other rituals. From there, they travel about 8 kilometers through the mountains to another valley, Mina, a place filled with more than 100,000 tents. They spend the night there in prayer. Then comes the most important day, the day of Arafah, which means the day of recognition or acknowledgement. This takes place about 15 kilometers away. Pilgrims gather on Mount Arafat, named using the plural form of Arafah, to pray and seek forgiveness until sunset. Though it's called a mount, Arafat rises only about 70 meters or 450 meters above sea level, making it somewhat higher in elevation than the Kaaba. But spiritually, this is the highest point of the pilgrimage. Muslims worldwide fast in solidarity on this sacred day. After sunset, pilgrims travel to Muzdalifah, about 9 kilometers away. Under the open night sky, they pray, rest, and collect pebbles for the next day's rituals. During the night, pilgrims journey for hours through mountain tunnels, heading back to Mina. They throw 7 pebbles at Mina's largest pillar, symbolizing rejection of temptation and the evil of Satan. That day marks the first day of Eid al-Adha, or the celebration of sacrifice of an animal, honoring Prophet Ibrahim's deep devotion and trust in God. Men shave or trim their hair, women cut a small lock, a powerful sign of a spiritual renewal. The day ends with pilgrims returning to the Kaaba, circling it another 7 times counterclockwise. They also perform the ritual called Sa'i, which is walking 7 times between the hills of Safa and Marwa, located just a few steps away from the Kaaba. Here, pilgrims trace the footsteps of Ibrahim's wife Hajar, who followed that route 7 times in a desperate search for water for her baby son. Over the next 2 days, pilgrims return to Mina to continue the stoning ritual, throwing pebbles at all 3 pillars. This act...
Still on the international news, Tim Ripley, a British defense analyst, has commented that the United Kingdom's Strategic Defense Review is certainly ambitious in its scope and vision. However, he also expressed concerns about its practicality, pointing out that several of the proposed projects and initiatives outlined in the review may take many years to come to fruition. According to Ripley, while the review sets out a bold and forward-looking agenda for the UK's defense capabilities, there is a significant risk that delays, logistical challenges, or funding constraints could hinder the timely implementation of its key objectives.
This is a document, the defence review that came out today, full of ambition, but short on practical moves to make it happen quickly. It's going to take a lot of money and a long time. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, talks about lots of this stuff as if it's going to happen tomorrow, but building 12 nuclear submarines, that's a project for a decade. the British government of all shades, this current one, the previous ones, are very reluctant to go down this idea of wars about to happen. They're very concerned, and rightly so, that the public might panic if they talk about imminent invasion, imminent attack, and it's something that the political class here in the UK are schizophrenic about. They like to talk up the idea of spending more money on weapons and nuclear deterrence, but they don't like to have anything that scares the population to think that an invasion might happen.
Moving on, Nakru Kacharek, president of the Voice of the Arctic Inupiat, has articulated the concerns and desires of the indigenous communities living in Alaska's North Slope in response to President Donald Trump's statement about opening the region to oil drilling. Hacharek emphasized that these communities are not opposed to development outright, but want to ensure that any such activities are conducted in a way that respects their sovereignty, cultural values, and their subsistence lifestyle. He explained that the Inupiat people seek meaningful consultation and involvement in decision-making processes that directly affect their land, environment, and future. Rather than having policies imposed from afar, they want development to be guided by local input and tailored to the unique needs of their communities.
The National Petroleum Reserve is wholly on the North Slope of Alaska. It's been used by the communities and the people up here for thousands of years. We've got 20 members of elected leadership from the various communities across the North Slope who have a stake and who have their identity that is in this land and unanimously support responsible resource development. That's what our priority is. So the economic development piece is extremely important to us, and by including us in those decisions, like we've been doing for the last 50 years, you can do it responsibly, you can do it without threatening our culture. And the environment is extremely important to our culture. We rely on it for our subsistence activities as well. It is not lost on us the services that revenue provides to those communities, and we're trying to maintain that. And if you threaten that, you threaten the culture.
You are
you threaten
listening
the communities,
to Big
and people
Family
want
Radio.
to be
Big
here. We
Family
want to
Radio.
live in our lands.
State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce has offered a firm defense of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation's controversial and deadly aid distribution efforts, which have come under intense scrutiny in recent months. Addressing the ongoing criticism during a press briefing, Bruce dismissed repeated questions from journalists, many of whom have been pressing the department for answers following 3 months of reports highlighting severe food shortages and rising starvation in Gaza. Bruce acknowledged the challenges involved in delivering aid to a conflict zone, but maintained that the foundation's actions were carried out under difficult circumstances and with the intention of alleviating suffering. She criticized what she described as relentless bad faith, questioning and argued that continued media focus on operational failures undermined broader humanitarian objectives. Despite documented instances of disorder and civilian casualties during aid distribution events, Bruce reiterated the U.S. government's support for the foundation, emphasizing its crucial role in addressing the urgent humanitarian crisis. Her remarks have sparked further debate among observers, with some viewing them as an attempt to deflect accountability, while others see them as a necessary defense of humanitarian workers operating in an increasingly volatile environment.
I want as many meals to be distributed as possible. They seem to be doing that, and I understand everyone has their opinion, but this is not a debate about who would have had the better idea. This is what's happening, and the meals are being distributed. And I thought, after 3 months of being harangued in this room by many of you about, don't you care about the starving Gazans? 7 million meals, and now we're being harangued about it's not by the right people. We have to move on from that.
Lee Jae-myung appears poised to secure victory in South Korea's presidential election, marking a significant political shift in the country. His main rival, Kim Moon-so, representing the Conservative Party, has publicly acknowledged his defeat, effectively conceding the race. With this development, Lee Jae-myung, the candidate of the Liberal Democratic Party, is on track to become the next president of South Korea, pending official confirmation of the final vote count. His win would signal a mandate for his party's platform and policy proposals, setting the stage for a new chapter in the nation's leadership.
만약에 이대로 결과가 확정이 된다면 우리 국민들의 위대한 결정에 경의를 표합니다. 제게 주어진 큰 책임과 사명을 우리 국민들의 기대에 어긋나지 않도록 최선을 다해서 수행하도록 하겠습니다. 감사드립니다. 만약에 이대로
To end the international news, Georgia Tasse, a humanitarian advisor at the Save the Children, has elaborated on the severe psychological and physical impact that Israel's ongoing aid blockade and military actions in Gaza have inflicted on children. She emphasized that the sustained restrictions on humanitarian assistance, coupled with the intense violence and destruction, have created conditions of extreme trauma, fear, and suffering for young people. According to Tasse, children in Gaza are experiencing chronic stress, anxiety, and symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, while also enduring malnutrition, injuries, and lack of access to essential medical care. She highlighted that the compounded effects of the blockade and the military offensive have created an environment in which children's basic rights to safety, health, and emotional well-being are being systematically denied.
Life has become incredibly precarious and dangerous here in Gaza, particularly for children after this 3-month blockade and the indiscriminate attacks on civilians and aid workers. I only left the country for 3 weeks this month, and the deterioration that I saw in the psychological and physical health of our own staff, let alone the children and the families we serve, was so significant. It was so shocking to see the deterioration of people's spirit, as well as just what the lack of nutrition and the fatigue and the listlessness and the anger and despair that everyone is experiencing. I think that the psychological impacts are often just as bad as the physical impacts. We're seeing a huge spike in malnutrition of both children and pregnant mothers. We're seeing children turn up to our education spaces talking about suicide, that they just want to be with their loved ones and their friends that they have seen killed in front of them. You know, you see families going to the hospital and seeing their children being operated on with hardly any anesthesia, children waking up during surgery because there's just not enough medical supplies. It's an incredibly desperate situation for children, families, and particularly our team here on the...
Moving on to the entertainment news. Ghanaian rapper Amrado has candidly shared that he doesn't genuinely enjoy being an artist, revealing that his entry into the music industry was driven more by survival than passion. In an interview, Amrado opened up about the challenges of fame and the emotional toll it has taken on him. He said he got into music mainly to survive, and he just wanted to eat. Most of the time, he doesn't even enjoy being an artist. He explained that the lifestyle comes with numerous restrictions, which often leave him feeling limited. One major issue, he said, is the expectation from fans to give out money in public, particularly while stuck in traffic. I feel restricted. When you are in traffic or any public space, people expect you to hand out money just because you are famous, he lamented. Despite these frustrations, Amrado noted that performing live remains one of the few aspects of his career that brings him joy. It's during those moments on stage, he said, that he feels most connected to his fans and the impact of his music. The maintenance will be easy, he added, highlighting the intense pressure and responsibilities that come with being a public figure. When asked what alternative career he might have pursued, Amrado revealed that if not for music, he would have chosen football. Ghanaian record producer and audio engineer Mixmaster Gazi has shed light on what truly means to be a music producer emphasizing the need to master every facet of the music creation process. In an interview, the award-winning producer explained that true production goes far beyond simply making beats. Before you call yourself a producer, you need to know how to produce, make beats, engineer audio, meaning proper recording as a recording engineer. You must understand mixing, directing, writing, and maybe even singing. All of these are part of being a complete producer, he added. He drew a clear line between beat makers, mixing engineers, and recording engineers, noting that not all who work with music fully grasp the broader scope of production. Master Gazi credited his edge in the industry to his ability to handle every stage of production, a comprehensive skill set he believes sets him apart. I was fortunate to learn all these skills early on, and that's why I go by the name Mix Master Gazi. He also urged aspiring producers to take their craft seriously and develop a well-rounded understanding of their role. Some people are just beat makers, and because they know how to record, they assume they can mix too. It's time they understood the difference. He advised encouraging a more disciplined and informed approach to music production. To end the news, a recap of the top stories. The Environmental Protection Agency has announced plans to launch comprehensive waste management and recycling plan this month. Ablekuma North MP, Honorable Ekria Efriye, has declared there will be no rerun. In the international news, approximately 2 million Muslims are set to embark on Sacred Hajj pilgrimage this week. Lee Jae-myung is set to win South Korea's presidential election as conservative rival concedes. And in the entertainment, audio engineer and record producer Mix Master Gazi has said a music producer must master every skill. To acknowledge my producers: Ruth Fashion and Decor, Williams Pub, Dim Herbal, Ahoto AA Construction Works, MB Cakes and Pastries, Center for Trade, Trustees Network Group, Big Family Multimedia Institute, and BFM Store. You can also watch us live and follow all our programs on Facebook at Big Family Radio. You can also follow us on Instagram at Big Family Radio, YouTube and TikTok at Big Family Radio, and Big Family TV. You can also download our radio app on the Google Play Store on Android and App Store on iOS. A massive thank you to my production team. My name is Esther Akosia-Agbobli. Thank you for joining News at 6 from the studios of Big Family Radio. Have a good evening.